did better than I did. I probably wouldn't have come out.
I thought it came out, not to pat myself on the back, fucking perfect.
Okay, we are recording, gentlemen. I'm going to start this and I'm going to give you a clap.
All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for another day of sobriety. We thank you for bringing us all together here. And we want to thank you for supplying Clay with working on his dream here as he's putting in the action to fulfill it. And we just ask that you steer while we rowed a boat today. And thank you for giving this opportunity so we could all come together and at least try to help one other person. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. Let me roll tape and we'll come and give you a clap. I'm going to give you the clap, man.
I don't need none of
I've
that.
never done that.
Fucking shit. You must have used to live on Phillips.
All right, here we go. And I'm getting ready to launch.
Should we close the door?
You're on mute. And
Jeez, out my fucking pocket.
the alignment clap. 3, 2, 1.
And here we go.
He's gonna point at me when I start talking. We gotta hear the intro. You gotta listen to Frankie's later.
Yeah, well,
He's really good.
what'd y'all talk about? Pink parachute?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Pink Parachute Recovery with your host Jeff Deck, and I'm Jeff Deck, and I'm an alcoholic and an addict. My sobriety date is June 14, 2013, and this is our second show, and I'm super excited because our guest this week is Clayton D. Are you anonymous? Do you want to say your last name or no?
Clayton Davis.
Ooh, you ain't no doctor.
I ain't scared of it. I'm glad I'm
No, you ain't no lawyer.
lawyer.
Let me tell you something. I really needed this. It ain't a meeting, but I just needed to see some other alcoholics. I didn't feel like calling my sponsor because he took a trip to Panama City. Because I usually don't drink like these fancy coffees. And I've got I don't know if the camera can see it yet. I've got one of these iced frappes from Dunkin' Donuts. And what happened was I was at work, and one of the clinical people went and got us all kinds of coffees from Starbucks. I didn't know what to order because I don't go to Starbucks. So I said, I think they got some kind of iced caramel macchiato, crappy frappy, and it was freaking delicious, Clayton.
You should try the pumpkin spice one. It's even better.
Yeah, I'm going to because I like pumpkin spice. I'm one of those, like, they have all those pumpkin spice creamers up in, like, the Gate and Daly's place now. I put them shits right up in there.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah.
In my pocket and everything.
You know me, I'm like Halloween guy. And, oh, damn. Don't be that guy. So anyway, I had that Friday, right? And I'm about ready to leave my house, and I just wanted some kind of a coffee. I wanted something cold. I didn't want to make, one of these crappy Keurigs that I had at my house. So I went against everything I believed in to Dunkin' Donuts. But I not only went to Dunkin' Donuts by my house on Merrill. Don't go to that one, by the way. I went back to Dunkin' Donuts because last night I went there to get Dunkin' Donuts for the kids. They close at 9 o'clock. I show up at 7. As I get out my truck, there's two, 20-year-old kids in there, young kids, maybe late teens, and they're throwing water bottles at each other. The door's locked, and they're like this, go around to the drive-thru. I'm like, all right. So I get in the car, I go around to the drive-thru. They ask what I want. I said, I need a dozen donuts. Okay, go ahead. And I said, 4 jelly. We're out of jelly. I said, thanks anyway. Bye. So I didn't want to stop at Dunkin'. I said last night, I'm boycotting this place. I'm never going back again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, how you not gonna have jelly? You close in 2 hours.
I mean, that's your main seller, jelly donuts.
Yeah, they'd rather throw fucking water bottles at each other. Jesus. I get it, though, because I've had 74 jobs. Anyway, that's a different story. Okay? So where am I going to stop? I say, you know what? I like that dirt coffee. Let me stop in this, mom and pop gas station. It's not one of these chain ones. Guess what? They ain't got no coffee left in their pot. So right away, I'm like, I'm starting to fiend for some kind of sweet iced coffee because I had Starbucks once.
Right.
I'm a fucking addict, yo. Let me tell you. So anyway,
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So I said, let me go to the one on Merrill. So I pull into Merrill, and there's no spots. I'm like, I literally said, God, all I want is a coffee. So I said, let me go to the drive-thru. There's 7 cars online. I said, I gotta get a spot. So I find a spot. I get lucky. God takes care of me. I go inside. There's no other customers. Clay, there was no other customers, man. It was a God thing, right? Yeah. I get to the freaking cashier. I counted. There's 7 people behind the counter working. I'm literally standing there for about 3.5 minutes before somebody greets me. We'll be right with you, sir. No problem, ma'am. That's exactly what I did.
Love and tolerance, right?
Yeah. I literally wait
Even
like
when I
another,
don't want to.
No. I literally wait like another 3 minutes. You know what they said? Sir, if you're paying by card, you could order from the kiosk. Yo, let me tell you, number 1, red flags went up. Number 2, I wanted to flip you know what out. I wanted to say, you're telling me there's 7 of y'all right there, nobody can take my order, you're going to make me go to that kiosk. You know what I said?
No, what'd you say?
I said, thank you, I'll go do that. And let me tell you, this is the best damn coffee I've ever had in my life. Thank you, Dunkin' Donuts. And thank you to the 12 steps, because that could have went wrong.
Oh,
Quickly, man. So yeah, while we're on the show, I'm gonna drink my delicious iced caramel frappe latte, and we're gonna see what's going on with Clayton. Clayton, first of all, give me your sobriety date, my brother.
5/12/17.
5.5 years.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, listen, I said last week on our first show when we had Frankie, what a great job he did. This show, we're not going to spend 25 minutes on what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. But I always want to ask each person who comes on here, please tell me about that last bottom and like maybe between 4 and 5 minutes of what you went through. When was the last time that you had a drink or a drug, and what happened?
Okay. Yeah, Clayton alcoholic, man.
Hey, Clayton.
My last bottom, I remember I was living over there off in Hooterville. If you're a West Sider or been to the West Side, there's a little section of town over there. It's a little town inside of the West Side called Hooterville, Trailer Park Heaven. It's great. Yeah. So I'm staying in a buddy of mine's house, staying in the back, and like the way it was there was, roaches and rats crawling over me at night while I'm trying to sleep, and just getting high. Like I'm shooting cocaine, shooting heroin. I remember multiple times shooting cocaine with a gun in my hand, and a rat would fucking drive by, and I'd shoot his fucking ass because I'm scared.
Sorry, Peter.
It's
all good.
And just the bottom for me wasn't more the circumstances. It was the way I was feeling about myself and about life in general. And like I said, I had that gun, and I'd put it in my mouth, but I didn't have the courage to pull it. And I don't even know if it has anything to do with courage. I think that's everything to do with God. There's a reason I'm here, And but I remember my nights looked like this. I would go to bed, and I would wake up 3 or 4 times a night because I'm sick, shaking from detox from heroin, and I'd have to do a shot. And then, it just, that continued there for a long time. And I met this person. Actually, I'd known this girl. I was friends with her and her husband, and she was actually someone I used to sell drugs to. And she decided to get sober. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But she was in Gateway. And while she was there, I'd see her on Facebook. We were messaging through Facebook. And
I've done that before.
It's just like,
that's how I got ex-wife number 3.
No, she was
number 2 also.
It was not that.
Oh,
we were just friends.
Just trying to relate.
It was not, she was like a sis, okay. But so she's getting sober. She's posting all this inspirational things, because I even in the rooms, like people I'd be talking to in the rooms, and they're like, that's posting self-seeking shit on Facebook. But what I've learned, whether it's self-seeking or not, attention-seeking or not, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? The fact is, that helped me to get sober. Mm-hmm. I see that somebody could, and she was like me, drinking drug every fucking day.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And the shit that I watched her post, and then the pictures, and then I would see her life getting better.
Motivation, right? No seeds are being planted. That's that example.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How many times have we heard in the rooms, like a guy gets sober and then his sister follows, or the dad is sober and the son follows. It could be anything, man. You just don't know when it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying, Clay?
Yeah, we live the way.
Clay knows what I'm talking about. He's going through something similar right now with that. Yep. Amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I watched her, and it took, at least a month. You know what I mean? But I just came to the point where I couldn't get no. I done robbed everybody because I would wake up and cut shit up,
Right.
and try to rob somebody to get what I can get. And I done ran out of people to rob, right? And I'm dying there. I'm sick. I'm puking. I'm crapping on myself. Like, it's just absolutely miserable, man. And,
did you want to stop? But you and this is what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
I did. And I during the day. Well, this is gonna be my last one. Tomorrow, I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna go exercise or I'm gonna eat a good breakfast and I won't do it no more. I'm gonna quit. I need my life to get better. And every morning I wake up, every fucking morning, I put a shot in me. Yeah. Every time. I couldn't even start.
Yeah.
I couldn't even start to stop. You know,
it was like no choice, and that's we're doing that against our own will, right? And when I have recovery coaching classes at Stepping Stone Lakeview, right, sometimes I bring that up to the patients there. I let them know, you know, we got to be in gratitude today, because for me, one of the worst things that would happen to me was that the night before, right, I would go to bed and I would swear it off. God, you know, I don't want to drink, I don't want to use tomorrow, and then I would wake up. And I would have no choice. I had to.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing about this disease. Wanting to stay stopped or get stopped.
But you can't.
But you can't.
Yeah.
You can't. So I say to the patients, we got to be grateful today. We woke up.
Yeah.
And we're not using or drinking against our own will. And there's men and women out there just like us who are today. It's like 12:30 right now. It's 12:15.
Well, they don't know that they have a choice.
No, they
you
don't.
know, they lie to themselves and like, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
And you can't. Not if you're an alcoholic junkie like me.
No.
You just can't. I mean, I was shooting a gram of heroin a day, a gram of cocaine a day, eating Adderall, snorting Xanax, drinking. 151 was my favorite drink.
Oh, dude, I got 151 stories. Bars were on fire.
Yeah. I used to go to strip clubs every day of the week. Right, and when I walk in there, they would have this drink made. It's already made. It's just 151, and the only reason it tasted nasty as hell, but it got me there so quick.
Yeah,
it got like all the other liquors. Like I would research what this is how I know I'm an alcoholic too. I would research which one has the highest proof content, alcohol proof content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, that's the one I want. I want to get there quick.
Dude, I could totally relate. Clay, you want to shake hand, yes or no, or chime in? Did you ever go to the freaking liquor and wine store and look at the percentage before you made that purchase? I mean, oh my goodness.
You do realize only normal people don't do that.
No,
only alcoholics do that.
Yeah. What is this white Zinfandel shit? No.
That's not good enough for me.
Let's go try this French red Burgundy. How much is this shit? I'll take the white Zinfandel. yeah. Oh my god.
Or I don't even ask about it. I just kind of put it in my pocket and run out the store.
Yeah.
You know what
Dude,
I mean?
at the end, so I was a big like rum and whiskey guy, like the island stuff that's expensive. Towards the end, when I had no money, Castillo, $9.99 for that liter. I mean, I get it, right? So you wake up that next morning. Where did you go? Who did you call? Like your first day sober. Did you go for help detox? Did you go to an ER?
So I called my brother-in-law. You know, everybody around me is using it, and I couldn't do it no fucking more. You know, and knowing that this person posting this, whether it's self-seeking or not, like that shit helped me. She's in Gateway. She went through detox, and I would reach out. Hey, how are you doing? What are you doing? You know, she went to detox, then she went to Gateway. So I had my brother-in-law come get me. I went to Baptist Medical Center, and they had to wheel me in there in a wheelchair because I was shaking so bad, and I could not stand up.
Yeah.
If I moved the wrong way, I'd crap on myself. I'm puking yellow stuff. Like I'm dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I got in there and they put some fluids in me and I called Gateway and they said they don't have a bed. And I'm like, fuck. And then I called back about 5 minutes later. They have a bed. Get here. So I called and they gave me a prescription of Percocet. So
What a bunch of nice guys. Nice guys.
And I tell them what I'm trying to do, right? Like, so they gave me the prescription and I called my brother-in-law I'll give them to him. Like at that point, I don't want them, dude. Like I'm trying to get help, but no one answered the phone. I couldn't get a hold of no one. So I had to walk from Baptist Hospital to Gateway. And I got to Gateway and rung the bell and went in.
You didn't eat those Percocet?
No.
God bless you.
No, man.
It's your time.
Yeah. I just knew that I realized in that moment, like, I'm not going to quit. If I put this in my body, I'm not going to Gateway.
Yeah.
I'll feel I'm all right.
So you get to Gateway. Did you just detox and then go to residential or just detox?
Well, I tried to go to residential. and for whatever reason, I couldn't get over. I had, you get out and you got a waiting list, and I'm staying at a buddy's house, and I went back to the heroin house to live.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
yeah, and I'm sleeping back there. I was there one day, and I'm like, no, this ain't gonna work. I gotta go. I went to a buddy of mine's house, and I stayed with him for a week, and then I tried to get into an alumni house. Well, the whole time I'm staying with him, I appreciate his being courteous, right? Because when he shot up his Delatas, he'd go in the back, right, and shoot him up. But then it's 3:00 in the morning, and you're cleaning the fucking house, huh? Like, what do you think, I'm an idiot? That's my routine, you know what I mean?
Did you have blinds?
Yeah.
Oh, you had blinds?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did.
Not where I was staying
not the crack house.
There was holes and all kind of,
and
there was aluminum foil in the windows, and I had little peepholes that I could look out.
Aluminum foil?
Yeah. I didn't want sunlight to come.
It's like Better Call Saul. You ever watch that show with his brother? He put aluminum foil everywhere. Not for drugs. He just had it made up.
Yeah, well, this was definitely for drugs.
Well, let me tell you, it sounds, and I don't know if you ever thought about it this way, right? If you're 5.5 years sober, it almost sounds like you had a white light experience. And let me explain. Because, I mean, geez, I'll tell you right now, I don't know, but I would have been eating those Percocets, right? Mm-hmm. I'll tell that. I would have been eating those Percocets. Number two, going back to that place where you were staying, like a crackhead place where there was just the paraphernalia everywhere, people using everywhere, and then going to your friend's house who's using, and he's using, even if it's a different room.
He would have gladly gave me a Delata.
Yet you stayed sober.
Yeah.
It was your time. God had you ready. Isn't that just a beautiful thing?
That is amazing. And then I go to Alumni House, and so I do the interview, right? And later on, I found out, like, my sponsor at the time, I got a sponsor, because they were bringing meetings in the gateway. I got a sponsor coming out the back door.
Good.
And they said, go to meetings, you might need to go halfway house, call me, da-da-da. I went to Alumni House, and my sponsor was going to pay for it. They would not allow him to pay for it. So I had food stamps. So I sold my food stamps.
Yeah.
I did it for drugs. Why not do it for right thing?
You ain't the first, you ain't the last.
And then I found out a year later, like, all the people at Alumni House were like, this fucking guy ain't gonna make it. This guy ain't gonna make it. So that's why I never, like, do my best to pass judgment on people, like, when they're fucking up.
100.
Because I don't know how to convey that through my words. Like, I don't know how to convey what's going on inside to people, right? But I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I knew I didn't want to drink or drug, and I wanted a better life, and I was just tired.
Yeah, and it's dangerous too, right? Because I had somebody come up to me, I won't say his name, but I was about, 30 days clean and sober, and he came up to me after one of those noon meetings at the place I used to work at, and he said to me, hey, how many days you got? And I told him like 30 something. He goes, well, I lost my bet, and he walked the fuck away.
Yeah,
It
kills people, man.
Yeah, but I can't say his name because I won't do that, but you know him. He's a douchebag. It just is what it is.
There's a lot of them around.
Oh yeah, I can relate. Yeah,
and it's really just me trying to get attention, right? Like, I want to be the spotlight and talk shit about this guy. And what I've learned, and I'm guilty. I've been guilty of that.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Not going to deny that. But what I've learned is gossip has almost killed me and other people.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I say this, right? The greatest thing, one of the greatest things about my previous employment, where I was there for almost 5 years, right, was I got to hear and watch and listen to everything. So I would say to myself, damn, I want to be like that. Or more importantly, I do not want to be like that. Somebody with like 20, 30, 40
You learn something from everybody.
I do not want to be like that. And if I continue to hurt people the same exact way, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem, and I ask God to remove those defects of character every single day, because that's what I knew coming into this, right? I knew how to hurt people, and I don't want to do that no more, man. But what I want to do here, Clayton, is move on a little bit, because, the title of our show is Pink Parachute, right? And I explained it last week, and you know what that means. The Pink Parachute is the tools of the program. When we go through something in our sobriety that we perceive, right? Because in my experience, I've been through some stuff, 2 bankrupts, 2 divorces, living in 2 sober living house at 2 and 4.5 years sober, that I perceive to be like, crushing blows.
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah, but in the meantime, what I know now today is I stayed clean and sober through it, and it was all part of God's plan. I needed to do that. I needed to do that at that time.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to talk to you possibly about maybe 1 or 2 things in your sobriety where you went through it, man. Life has been flipped upside down, and I know that you just recently went through something really, really
Still
major
going
here.
through it.
Still going through it. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Sure, we can.
Cool, man. So talk to me about when this began.
I mean, it's based around a relationship,
Yep.
you know, which, I don't know, about 3 years ago, we got together and we, kind of dated or whatever for a year. And she broke it off and she went back out and she ended up in jail. And she called me from jail and Captain Save, want to fix people, and self will run riot, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, it's a great idea to get in a relationship with a girl that's in jail. Like, red flag number one.
What'd your sponsor say?
He's actually had to change sponsors. He said, if you date this girl, I'm not going to sponsor you. I'm like, see ya, bye.
Oh, I thought your answer was going to be, I didn't tell my sponsor. Good for
Oh
you.
no, I tell him I don't care.
You can work in
I've
a
gotten
strong
to
program, son.
Yeah, I'm to a point where like I don't really give a shit what people think as much.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I told him I got fired. Okay, we'll move on. Me and the girl, ended up getting out. We dated. She went to a halfway house, and she'd come over every weekend. And after like 3 months, I moved her in. I shouldn't have. You know what I mean? Basically, all I did was take another hostage, man.
Yeah.
And not very proud of that today, because this is why that particular reason is why I'm where I am right now in this present moment. And I learned a lot through the last 3 years in this relationship. So moved her in, moved her daughter and her son in, and life's grand. We're doing great. Got the family.
Stepdad,
Yeah. And then I'm at work one day, and she calls me. She says, I'm late. I have not had my period in 10 days. And she's freaking out. And I'm internally freaking out. I'm just relax. Everything's going to be okay.
Right.
Let's get a test. Let's not jump to the future. So I grab a test and I bring it home. And she takes the test. I'm in the shower. She says, go look in the bathroom. I go look in the bathroom and I fail. My knee, I only have one good leg, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing this, I don't know, I just buckled on that one good leg and went down, dude. Instantly, I can't do this. I'm scared. I can't be a father.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be responsible for someone else's life, the upbringing of them, and all this shit, right? And so, and then she about left. She's like, I can't do this. I got to go. And she didn't end up leaving. But I talked to my sponsor about it, and I'm like, I was going to leave.
Yeah.
I was like, it was straight out of fear, and I don't want the responsibility.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
We run.
Yeah. And you know what my sponsor said? He said, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to sit right there, sit in that shit, and you're going to be a good father and all this and all that. So, we, about 6 months later, I took all the kids, her mom, and her down to Universal Studios. And I had this plan, right? And so the kids were involved in it. I was going to propose to her, going to do the right thing here, marry this woman and take her kids and our kid and just, this whole family thing, right? Scary as fuck the whole time. And so we get down there in Daytona, take her to a dinner. She has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
No idea. And so I got her 3 children. They're sitting behind a tree. I'm like, and I'm playing it off. Like, we go to this dinner. I'm like, babe, let's go I don't want to go back yet. Let's go take a walk down the river or this little sidewalk deal. And so we go to this park, and there's a long walk, and we're just walking, holding hands, talking about life. And I told the kids, like, so they put this, it was rose. This is how I know where they were and when it was time to do it. We put roses in the shape of a heart. So this is funny. So we get close to that, and I'm supposed to kneel down in these roses and propose, and she hears something rustling behind a tree, and we're like 2 feet from it. So I kind of just snatch her arm and pull her towards the roses and kneel down, and I propose to her. And the kids come out of the woodworks, and she's crying. And it was just beautiful, dude. It was really beautiful. And
she wound up giving birth to your
to my biological daughter.
That's
the
right.
greatest gift I could ever receive, man. Like,
I get it.
Scary,
yeah,
but great. Like, I don't know what I'd do without her.
And this was 2019. What you and her kind of when you proposed to her, 2019, 2020.
I think it was 20.
Okay, and then she goes ahead, and you guys have that beautiful baby girl, right? And from that point until like a month or so ago, things are up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah. When we had the baby, I'm not gonna lie. Like, for the first 2 months, I was not a good father whatsoever.
Right.
I put all the responsibility on her. I'd go to work. I'd come home and I'm act like a good father, right? Like I'll feed her, and I'll hang out for 30 minutes, but I'm going to bed. And I was just scared.
Yeah,
I was
it's fear.
absolutely scared.
Mhm.
And so, we had a conversation later on, right? And she's like, I need your help. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay. So I started stepping up, started, doing more things, being a part of my child's life, like being a father, waking up with her in the middle of the night, feeding her, like all these things. And I'm glad I did, because I don't know what my life would be like without her, dude. God knew what he was doing,
Yeah.
giving me a girl, because I'm one of them. I'm a bully. I
Yeah.
can be a bully. I'm a rigid type
I mean,
guy.
that's why your legs messed up kicking all that ass.
Yeah. Actually, that was a motorcycle wreck.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
And you wound up marrying her, or you
No.
just stayed engaged? Right?
We stayed engaged, and things got worse. We tried counseling.
Right.
We're in each other's face, yelling and calling names. And mainly it was me. Like I was
Sure.
it was. She's a great woman. She's good to our children, or to my child. She's good to them. You know what I mean? I just stopped working the program,
Right,
because I had a resentment, and I just didn't want to do this thing anymore.
So let me interrupt you a second, and let me try and relate with you. Right, when me and ex-wife number 3 split up, I would call my sponsor at the time, and she
Right.
wants this, she did this, she wants this, and he would just tell me, "Whoa, slow down, son." Okay, he said, "I don't want to hear about her. I want to hear about you."
Yeah.
And those words were very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Because I immediately got to writing. I immediately started talking to him, almost like that 10 step on the fly, and I immediately started to learn, finally, after 4.5 years, because about the same time we both went through this, right? That, hey, I'm not responsible for anybody else's actions. In other words, she didn't do it to me, she just did it.
Yeah.
How can I grow? What did I do wrong that I could get better at, so in my next relationship, if God willing, I don't make the same mistakes from my side. My
right? Sponsor would have me, so because there is times I'm like, she's doing this, she's doing that, My sponsor would, this wasn't, it's about a month ago. He's like, well, look, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write an inventory, and it's basically, the way we wrote it is, it's just a page of everything that you learned about yourself in this relationship. Not everything you learned about her, right?
Yeah,
I learned a lot of stuff about me that I didn't like.
Yeah.
I really didn't like. And, so he had me, we went over it and take the list and went home. When we were done, he's like, I want you to burn it and then pray, get on your knees and pray to God. And I don't know if it's gone. The thoughts are, there's been multiple occasions where we had a situation the other night, like, she wanted help with the babysitting bill. I'm giving her $300 a month for child support, and I just felt like that wasn't enough. And there's no tell what the future can come. Probably gonna have to go to court, because there's been times where we'll be arguing and I hurt her feelings.
Right.
Like I was a jerk to her, and she didn't want to let me see we already planned for me to see my kid. She didn't want to let me see my kid because I hurt her feelings, and I try to talk with her. It's difficult, you know what I mean? And I'd learned, though, like, don't talk shit.
And that's the thing. You left about a month ago, correct?
Yeah.
Like, you left a month ago, and
well, we got in an argument Wednesday night, and she left and didn't come back. And I would call her, because I had already made the decision, like, my kids, all the kids, and me, this is not going nowhere.
Right.
So I was like, look, and I'm just trying to get in contact with her from that Wednesday until Saturday. Like, look, I'm moving out, but she would not respond, which is understandable. She's hurt, angry, all this, whatever. Right. And she actually went and filed an injunction on me the next day.
Sure.
So, I left that Saturday, and then we would talk, and she would tell me, she'd blame me. Like, I tried to talk to you. And so I think it's codependency, but like, that made me feel bad.
Correct.
Right. And I think it's manipulation and gaslighting and all these things. Right. And I would, look, I tried to get a hold of you to talk like an adult. And, it just.
So this is what I'm thinking, right? As you're telling us this recent event, this is a life on life terms. This is big in your life right now. What I'm thinking is January 6th, 24-hour day book, right? My sobriety is the most important thing. Nothing is important to me as my sobriety. My whole life depends on it, right? All that stuff. I must never forget this, right? So I'm thinking is, while you're going through this, you are talking it out with a sponsor. I know that you're talking it over with other men, because we talked on the phone. right? I know that you are going to meetings, right?
Yep.
And I know that your relationship with God, which we're going to get to here in a few minutes, has drastically improved. So you're involving God in that, right? So you make that move. And then all these other things are happening. Now you can't see a baby girl every single night. And you learned, just like I did, to fall in love with that baby girl.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait. You're doing everything
Yeah.
for this baby girl. She's the most important thing in your life. You can't wait to get home. You want to hold her. You want to feed her. You want to get her when she's crying, all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And now you can't be there every single night. So it's eating you up on the inside, and she files this injunction. You can't see her, all this other stuff. And yet, you're staying clean and sober.
Yeah.
Again, guys,
I mean,
why?
On top of that, like, my buddy let me live with him, and he has 3 kids.
Yeah.
So I go from having my own family, right, and being with my kids every night.
Yeah.
Like, I pick my daughter up basically every night, take care of her while she goes to her meetings and whatnot, take care of my stepson, and then I move into this house with my buddy, which I'm eternally grateful for. But I gotta live inside of a family,
right?
And that it's demasculating, to be honest with you. And I know it's ego, right? A lot of it's ego, but it was hard, dude. It was really hard. I woke up every morning crying my eyes out because that injunction. I couldn't see my daughter for like a week and a half, and I couldn't talk to none of them, or I'd go to jail, and it was hard, dude. Like, I'd wake up crying in the middle of the night, and I didn't know what to do, man.
And this is Alcoholics Anonymous. We find people who have been through similar things to find out from them how they made it through, right? And Clay is telling my story. I moved into my best friend Gene's house, who was one of us before he drank and passed away. I had one little bedroom where my son was 4 at the time, and I had to sleep with him in that bed. Meanwhile, he's there. His dad is there, and his wife is there, and I just feel like I'm just totally invading privacy.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm doing handyman stuff, so I'm tired at the end of the day. I would go in there and either just stay in my room out of fear, like walking around on eggshells, even though that was just me.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me anything.
I go through the same time, and I got to remind myself, I'm a child of God. God loves me. I don't have no reason to be afraid.
That's it. And what we're doing is we're using the tools. We're using the pink parachute. You're involving God. You're going to meetings.
Yes.
You have a sponsor. You're sponsoring others. You're going to treatment centers. Yeah. You're being of service. This is, I know for me, and I think I can speak for you after hearing this, for Clayton, how we get through these things.
It's the only way I would have got through it. If I didn't do these things, if I didn't pick up the tools that have been laid in front of me, I'd be drunk. I'd be sitting backwards on the toilet right now, shooting a shot of heroin or dead.
Dude, I know these things.
I have this daughter that I couldn't even